Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to this video. My name is Brenda Campbell. I'm an artist and a certified Zentangle teacher. Today is Mindful Monday, and on Mindful Mondays, I guide you through the 8 steps of the Zentangle Method of drawing. It is in meditative art form. It is magic as far as I am concerned because my daily practice has changed my life for lots of reasons, but I'm not going to get into them now. Our purpose today is to be able to be present in this moment and simply to spend a few minutes for ourselves. I hope you will take time to draw along with me. You don't need much, as you can see. I'm going to be using a black Micron PN pen from Sakura. I'm using a Zentangle pencil, but any pencil will do, and a tortillon for blending out the graphite. You don't have to have these exact supplies. Just a pen and paper is all you really need. The tile I'm drawing on today is 3.5 inches, and it's square. It's small on purpose, so you don't get intimidated, and it doesn't take forever to fill a tile. So our little bijou mascot is reminding us today to enjoy our process. Enjoy yourself. I hope you do take time to draw along with me. And let's go ahead and just jump right in with step 1, gratitude and appreciation. In this step, I am going to talk you through a short breathing exercise that hopefully will kind of get you settled and present and calm and relaxed. And really, we're just trying to let all of your other thoughts and cares just kind of float away. So we begin with 3 deep breaths. Let's go ahead. The first one, breathing in deeply, getting tall, and exhale slowly and fully. And again, breathing in, getting tall, and out. And just relax everything down as you exhale. One final big breath in and out. Now let your breath just follow its natural rhythm and pay attention to it. Breathing in and breathing out. And as thoughts pop in, they will. That's what your mind is doing. It's its job. As those thoughts do pop in, acknowledge them and then just let them go on. Let them float by like a cloud. And breathe in and out. Now take a moment to think of something you're grateful for. And just grab onto the first thing that pops into your mind. And once you've got that thought, that thing that you're grateful for, hold on to it and pay attention to how it makes you feel. This is gratitude. And remember how this feels. And as we draw today, if you reach a point where you get a little flustered or you just aren't focused, stop yourself take a deep breath in and out. And then pick your pen back up and you're ready to draw again. Okay, let's end with one more deep breath in and out. And that is step one, gratitude and appreciation. Now I am going to go ahead and get started here. We've got our tile, and I'm using a Zentangle tile. Like I mentioned, you can use whatever you have. If you have a piece of paper, just draw a 3.5-inch square or cut a 3.5-inch square or close to that. It doesn't have to be perfect. And we finished step one, so hopefully you're feeling a little more relaxed and present. And now we're going to go on to step two. Step two, we're using our pencil, and we're going to put a dot in each of the 4 corners on our tile. Now, step three is the border, and here we're just going to connect those dots together to create that border. Step 4 is the string. Now today's string is going to be a very simple triangle. So I'm going to start at the top in the center, and I'm drawing a straight line down to the corners. And I'm turning my tile so I get a little bit more even and consistent line. And so that's our string, and now we're finished with our pencils, so we can set them aside. And we're going to pick up our pens. Now I'm using a Sakura Micron PN, which is PN for plastic nib. So the tip is a little more firm. It's made out of plastic and it won't bend. I have a heavy hand, so it's the perfect pen for me. But it does give you a wider line, which is okay for me. But if you prefer a smaller, thinner line, you can go ahead and use a Micron 01 or whatever your favorite pen is. Now, we draw our string in pencil because we want to use it as a guide, and it's not, in pen because it's not a firm guide. We are allowed to cross the borders of our string line if we choose, and the string kind of fades away in the background once you start adding your ink and your patterns. So we're moving on now to step 5, the tangles, and we are going to use 3 basic tangles, maybe 4. And what we're going to create, this is really kind of a Zentangle inspired art piece, but we're not going to call it that because it's just a triangle with patterns. But because we want to have a little bit more fun, it is December after all, I'm going to go ahead and make this look a little bit like a Christmas tree. And I'm going to begin with the pattern Vertigo. Now this pattern is like a branch or a leafy kind of pattern. And I'm just going to have, I'm going to start with a line that's going to represent kind of the stem. And then normally I would add to some, an aura line to it, but I'm just going to keep it a single line today. And then I'm going to make the end of it like a petal. And then I'm going to add some more leaves, petals on our leaf or branch. And I'm kind of doing this randomly at the moment. I will fill them in, but for now we're just kind of giving ourselves a baseline. And I just continue to add these leaf shapes until I'm happy with it. drawing behind where I need to. I'm almost done here. I don't want to put too much in, but okay, so this is our first little vertigo branch. I'm going to put one more here. Okay, now I'm going to do another one on the other side. I'm going to make this one a little shorter. And I kind of like to finish off the bottoms because that way I think it'll blend better when we add the other patterns or tangles. Again, just kind of randomly adding leaves. Okay, and I'll do another one over here. You might notice I'm alternating sides. No particular reason, just for a little balance, I guess. Do another one over here. Actually, let's do one right here. It'll be a small one. Now you can make the leaves of this vertigo tangle any shape you like. You can really get creative if you want. Does not have to be a little pointed leaf or a little rounded one. So use your imagination if you're feeling adventurous. Or just use the same type of petal I am. Okay, I think I'm going to do one more so we have an uneven number of 5. And I guess I will go ahead and can't decide. I guess I'll put it up here. Just a really small one. Okay, so that's all the vertigo I'm going to add. Now the next tangle I'm going to add is jetties. I like to draw jetties at Christmas time because they you can make them look like Christmas ornaments with your decoration of them. And honestly, I'm going to use jetties and festoon as 2 round tangles in this triangle space. And we might even use a couple of tipple. We'll just have to wait and see. But what I'm going to do is begin by drawing some circles. Now I like to start at the top with one that's not too large. And then I'm going to draw behind my vertigo when I come to those. And I am going to go ahead and draw some larger circles in this open space. You can see I have a lot of not perfectly round orbs. That's fine. Now I'm going to start changing up the size a little bit. And I'll put some of them will go behind others. It's a little tricky to draw behind the vertigo, but it's not really that bad. And when you're finished, your eye will see the pattern, not all the individual lines. So don't get too crazy thinking that you have to be perfect here. And of course, the idea, if you haven't gathered it yet, is simply to fill the rest of the space in our triangle with these circles. And you can see I'm putting some smaller ones in now. Just trying to fill up the space. Okay, I think this is pretty good. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is take some of these small ones and make them little black orbs or black pearl shapes, just because I think it'd be nice to have that little bit of drama. this will be my last one. I think this makes 9, and that's an uneven number, and that always looks more appealing. Okay, so we've got some tipple or black orbs to start with. That's a tangle in and of itself, but we also use it a lot, oftentimes as a filler, and that's kind of what we're doing here today. So the next tangle I want to draw is festoon, and I'd like to take a couple of the larger circles to put that in. And again, we're going to kind of do this at random. I'm going to begin with a dot in the center, and then I'm going to draw a line from the dot to the edge of the circle. And I'm going all the way around. So that's our first one. Let's go ahead and pretend. I guess we'll do this one here. It goes behind a little bit, but that's okay. There's 2. Let's do this one over here. I'm kind of curling these lines as I go around. I think just to give it a little bit of dimension, but you can make the lines straight if you want. Okay, let's do this one too. And that just kind of has to go behind, but I think we're good with that one, and I need one more. So let's do this one here. Okay, so that is festoon, and there are 5 of those. Now we're going to draw some jetties. Now jetties, like I mentioned, are really fun because that's kind of where you can make them look like Christmas ornaments if that's what you want. But we're going to draw a stripe in the centers. I'm using rounded lines to give it that dimension. And I'm trying to make them in the center of the circle and alternating the direction so they do look more random. Some of the bands are very wide and others are more narrow, and we'll be able to decorate these all kinds of cool ways if we want to. So now I'm leaving the smaller ones open. I'm not really putting anything in there. They may just remain tipple. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, now that I've got stripes in most of them, I'm going to go ahead and fill all of them in with black. Well, I shouldn't say all of them. I'm going to decorate them all a little bit differently, but most of them will just have a black band with some auras like this one here. I'll just do that aura. That decorates that one a little bit. Now I'm going to go ahead and put a black band here, but I'm going to leave a little white space for a highlight. Okay, let's do the same thing here. Give this one a little highlight. Now you can make these highlights with straight lines. I kind of like the little scratchiness in there. It seems like a more realistic highlight, but we're not doing realistic art, even though we want it to look a little, we want it to have a Christmas tree feel to it, but it does not have to look like a Christmas tree because we're just drawing patterns. Okay, let's take this one here, and instead of making it black, I'm going to draw circles in there. And then I will put the aura in. Now another thing we can do, and I'll use this one as an example, is instead of solid black, we can just draw these aura lines in the center. I'll make this one black and give it a highlight. It's a pretty big one. Do. This one is kind of tucked behind, and what I'm going to do is make a couple of black stripes in this one. Maybe I'll draw a line in here. Yeah, they don't have to be perfect. Sometimes there's not a lot of room on the bottom, or it could be either above the band or below the band, but you don't have to put lines in both places if you don't want to. So just keep that in mind. You can decorate this however you like. I'm just choosing 3 basic patterns orbs in the center, lines in the center, or solid black stripes. And I'm using the black for some added drama. If you've been watching me draw and drawing along, you'll know that I'd like to add a little drama whenever I can. Always adds more interest to the pattern or the overall look. Okay. I'm going to make this a little wider, and then we'll do this one. Solid black. I think this one gets a sparkle also. Okay, so I'm just going to continue working and filling mine in, decorating them, if you will, trying to give it a random look. But you kind of go ahead and fill in whatever, however you like. But rather than sit here and watch me draw all this stuff, I'm going to go ahead and, you've seen me draw all the ones we're going to draw. So go ahead and pause the video, take your time, fill in decoration on all of your orbs that you want to be your jetties, and then come back and unpause, and we'll be able to move on to the next step, which will be the shading. Okay, I am back now. We're going to do step 6, the shading. I'm going to pick my pencil back up, and we're going to begin by shading our vertigo sprigs that we've got kind of coming out here and there. And I'm going to start with drawing some graphite right on that center line. Okay, and now I'm going to grab my tortillon, and I am going to blend that out a little bit. And what I'm going to do is kind of pull it into the leaves a little bit. If I have leaves that go behind, I'm going to put a little extra on those. But they're kind of small on this whole tile, so I wouldn't get crazy. Remember, your eye will see the pattern, not the individual pieces of the pattern when it's looking at the whole when it's completed. So, like I said, don't get too crazy. Let's do this one too. Okay, I think that's good for our vertigo. So now I'm going to pick my pencil back up, and we're going to go into let's do our festoon first. Now festoon, we really just want to add graphite where we've got something where it goes behind. So here it's going behind some leaves. Here it's going behind some leaves again. We're going to go ahead and add graphite where it goes behind, and then also on the lower right corner, I'm going to put this little smile. Okay, so let's go back in now and go ahead and blend out that graphite. I don't want it to be too dark, so we're just going to put a little bit around the perimeter, and then we'll blend a little heavier in that corner. And that's what helps give it that rounded look. Okay, so that is our festoon. I gotta be careful I don't put too much graphite in here. Oh, I missed a festoon. Let's go back and get that one here. Okay, so I'm going to take what graphite I have on my pencil here, and I've got a couple of these small round orbs. And I am going to just put my little graphite smile in that bottom corner on these orbs. All these ones that are open. Okay, so I think I've got all those. So here's a couple more. Okay, so that's good for that. Now I'm going back in. And I'm going to go with all of these jetties and other orbs. Mostly jetties is what I have left. I'm basically going to put a little graphite where they meet, trying to keep it off of the black, putting it mostly on the white, because the black will just get lighter, not darker. And then if there's a big space it's not going behind, I'll do that smile in that corner again. Okay, that's a lot of graphite, so I'm gonna put my pencil down, get my tortillon out. I should have more than enough graphite on this tile to blend it out wherever I need it. So go ahead and start with that. Well, that is about all there is for me to do. I could blend out this graphite a little bit more, but I think it looks pretty good. So there is our pattern step 5 and our shading step 6. Next is step 7. We're going to go back to our pen and we're going to put our chop or our initials on the front. So I'm going to have mine over here. So I don't know what happened, but for some reason the video stopped recording at the end there. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. I did put my chop on it. That's step 7. Signed my initials stylized there to a chop. I flipped it over and I signed the back. I will date it, but I always do that off camera. And then I listed our tangles. We had vertigo, festoon, jetties, and then we had some black orbs. And then a reminder, you can put notes on the back, and I put a note that I drew this for my Mindful Monday 61 video. So that was step 7, and step 8 is simply to sit back and admire your tile and appreciate the time that you took for yourself and just appreciate what you've created. So I hope that you all enjoyed the video and that you drew along. It is a fun little tile. It's just a triangle string, but we filled it with some vertigo branches and some festoon and some jetties to look a little bit like ornaments on a tree. So thank you again for watching. And as always, I will remind you until next time to be you and be happy.